Well,
So,
Marty, you did it
what?
again, buddy. You did it again. You're in the news. You are
Yeah,
trending on
no,
X,
yeah.
and it started the last night. Here we are. You were booted from SacAnime here for because you made people feel uncomfortable. Apparently, I s please, by all means, give us a quick background. How did this whole thing start up? You got invited to SacAnime to be a part of the 25th anniversary Halo thing, and then you got uninvited, huh?
Yeah, this isn't something I mean, I've done this a couple of times. I love supporting the actors that I've hired years ago and I'm friends with. And when we get together at these things, it's really, really fun. It's fun for the fans. It's fun for me. It's a way for me to be able to support the actors who, frankly, probably never got compensated to the degree that they should have. The video games industry and paying actors is not spectacular, but the fans fall in love with the actors, and this is a way that I can see them do well, and they interact with the fans, and they get paid for signing autographs and talking and signing things and going, all these panels and stuff. So I love doing this. I haven't done a ton of them. SacAnime actually came to me back in January the first time to tell me about this thing in September. Then in May, I officially said okay, I would do it. I knew I'm running for Congress, so I knew it might be difficult. Anyway, it's just it was never anything I thought was going to be a problem. And
So to
then
be clear,
I
they
got a
came
call.
to you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hmm,
I'm not searching this stuff out, and frankly, I
sure.
probably will never search this stuff out. I will have to think very hard about ever agreeing to doing something like this again. I don't want to be the middle of this kind of drama. It doesn't make sense. What they're accusing me of course, came from uh, my political opponent and her. Lackeys in the industry, of political industry. So there are magazines and websites that will, try to support the Democrats in this case and say things about me that I didn't say and write headlines that are completely misleading and false.
Right.
So apparently that's what according to what I was told in the text that came to me, was that the LGBTQ plus staff at SacAnime felt unsafe or uncomfortable. So
So
yeah,
I've done a little research here, Marty,
yeah,
and I know what specifically they may be speaking about. And
hmm,
you were on the WDW Pro show,
yeah.
and the thing that they are that everyone circles on is, and this is courtesy of Grok here. It says you said,
It'll be very accurate, I'm sure.
yeah. It's you apparently said, talk about an existential threat. This is
Right.
where we're at right now. We are on the cliff looking down into the abyss, and the abyss is Marxism. It's anti-Western philosophy. There's a weird alliance of all these people who pretend to be oppressed. The LGBTQ people, the Islamists, the Marxists, they're all together now. Now, you have apparently repeatedly said that you were not. This was picked up by a former Kamala Harris link account, misrepresenting the clip as you calling for persecuting LGBTQ people and treating them as, quote, an existential threat, which you have publicly said that's not who you meant. You meant the ideology, the Marxism, and that, just to be totally clear, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously, Craig, you've been on the internet for I don't know
Oh
how
yeah,
many years.
many.
And it's easy to take people's things. I'm not. I don't even think this is taken out of context. I think this is just deliberately misrepresented. I was
Mhm.
obviously talking about Marxism, which is not people. Marxism is a political philosophy of governance, and it is the antithesis to our country's founding documents. Marxism is the antithesis to constitutional republic. It's an antithesis to everything that we believe that is held in our Constitution. I am looking forward to be able to take the oath of office, which is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. And every single person from the president down to the local dog catcher has to take that oath. And that means you support and defend the Constitution. And you take that oath without mental reservation, which means you're taking it without, you're not lying when you take it. And I'm saying you cannot be a Marxist and take that oath. It's just impossible. So I'm seeing that there are groups out there that are aligning themselves with Marxism. I could have said the Irish because of the Irish Republican Army. I could have said white Christian nationalists who are going against the Constitution. But I was talking about Marxism and Marxism's influence, and now we're even seeing groups align themselves with Marxism that it doesn't make sense that they align themselves that way. And that's what I'm saying. But the threat, the existential threat is Marxism. I never said anything negative about any specific group of people or people who are my friends and people who I've worked with for years and people I have no problem with. It's just silliness.
Well, and I mentioned I've done this high level research here, Marty. And I've also had I also cannot find any public record of you advocating for violence, personal harm, legal persecution of individuals belonging to the gay or transgender world. Like I can't find any of that anywhere. So that's where my mind just is broken, because these people don't feel safe around somebody that has literally not advocated for anything that would potentially make them feel unsafe.
Yeah, I honestly don't understand it, other than they either bought into the propaganda that's coming from the left, and they have power, whoever these staff people are. I don't know why the staff is able to control the people who are running the show, but apparently they can. And it's unfortunate. I feel bad for the people who are running SacAnime that they are being held hostage by some group of staff that have decided to believe something that's just not true. I also feel really bad for my actor friends, and I know there are other people that show up at these shows. People like Nolan North and other people I've worked with or I've auditioned over the years or whatever. When I go to one of these shows, it's always really fun. The one that was in Houston in May was amazing. It had all sorts of people there. If you look at the rundown of people, and I had a great time with all of them. But I'm trying to figure out, in what way can I ever make anybody feel unsafe? Am I going to sign an autograph too hard? What exactly am I doing? It just doesn't make any sense. It's obviously political posturing. It's a power grab. It's funny. I remember when BLM happened. I hope I don't get into trouble for saying this, but when BLM happened during the COVID years, it's one thing to talk about, let's say, black people or Irish people or white people, but all of a sudden some group with a label suddenly comes up and says, we're speaking for everybody in that group.
Right.
And eventually we realized that the organization called BLM was run by a couple of Marxist women, and it all blew up and went away, and that's the end of it. And I don't think anybody thinks of BLM as representing the all black people or the interests of black people. It was a specific organization. And, perhaps at this moment we don't have, it's not as formalized with the LGBTQ plus community, but it is, I don't know why there's this, and I don't know who the group is that says they represent everybody, but I know too many people who have one of those letters in their name, and they don't agree with this sort of generalized political posturing movement. I don't know who's behind it. But what I'm nervous about is when you start seeing these advocates openly endorsing and absorbing the philosophy of Marxism, and that's what I think is the abyss. That's the danger for our country, is Marxism.
You know what I felt the real danger was in your communication with SacAnime was,
What?
Marty?
Yeah.
was how not inclusive they were in their messaging to you, not including the plus at the end of the Q right here,
Oh, yeah.
because there was no plus, and for that I feel very underrepresented there.
Yeah, the
So,
two spirits are missing.
Two
yeah,
spirit. Yeah.
absolutely.
Think about all the people who were in the plus. Yeah. And
The,
now it's I'm not going to call anybody out, but I was at a sort of get together here in Las Vegas last weekend, and there was a guy who is who's openly gay. He has a YouTube channel. I think he's really good. He actually agrees with me about politics, and we had a great talk. But he doesn't feel, just because he happens to be gay, that he's represented by the alphabet mafia. So
oh, there you
and
go.
when I say the alphabet mafia, I said it. I'll probably get in trouble with my political people, but I just don't understand who speaks for all those people and how in the world are they, you know, who's their spokesman? I don't think there is one. It's sort of this underground or above ground movement that can bully people like the showrunners of SacAnime. And actually, I mean, this whole thing by doing, I wasn't going to make this public. I was like, hey guys, go back to the showrunners, please tell them that this is not going to end well. Like this, my actors are going to be hung out to dry. People who have already bought tickets to this show because they think they're going to see 5 of us from the Halo team. People, I've had hundreds and, possibly thousands of people come up to me over the years, of course, to have me sign their ODST soundtracks or their Halo 1 game. And it's like, these are people who want to come to a show like this so they can have that happen. And they might have already bought tickets. So now what? It's like false advertising. It's just bad business. I don't get it.
Well, in addition to that, I think the most amazing thing about this is, like, if they really think that, like, I post this over on X today. Like, what are you, like, what is Marty going to do to them? Like, are you going to play the piano too well? Are you going to make an amazing soundtrack for their life? Like, really, let's just be real about this. And there are people that are going to be at that event that do not agree with their livelihood, that do not agree with their philosophy, whatever it may be, whether they're gay, straight, black, white, trans, whatever, and there are going to be people who just don't, they may not like, they may be racist, they may be whatever, but to specifically say they don't feel safe around you when you have done nothing is amazing to see. And I'm with Phoenix. I saw you shaking your head. It's just all political posturing and virtue signaling and
power. That's it. It's literally it. Just about power. The end.
End.
Never let anyone else have a voice. Never let basically destroy livelihood. It's just, you are with us or you are shunned and against us. You are eliminated from the conversation.
Well,
in my opinion,
this is what I do for a day job, because I can actually explain all of this within their own philosophy.
Excellent, please.
Yes, Arch.
First and foremost, you're asking what he's going to do. This is their space. They view this as their ideological space. This entire con is theirs. The LGBTQ, Marxism, socialism, whatever brand you wish to put on it. Dissentant voices within that space cannot be allowed, because that will endanger their political power over that space, like Phoenix says. This is about influence and maintaining their areas. It's extending maximum tolerance to their own whilst withholding all tolerance, no matter how innocent it might seem, from those who seem politically opposed. And as you have pointed out, these are Marxists. This means that they must be exclusionary to all other political opinions, because all other political opinions are dangerous to them. They have already adopted the position that we need to adopt towards them, frankly. And as for who they are, this is Gramscian socialism, which is all that comes down to, is basically you need to undermine Western values, all of it. Everything must be turned upside down because they don't want our society to continue to exist. Simple as. So you're entirely correct by calling them an existential threat, because that is their stated goal.
Well, I just want to make it clear. I am only talking about governance philosophy, a philosophy that was founded by Marx and Engels, and it has its tentacles and poisonous influences in all sorts of places and people's minds. But I'm certainly not talking about, there's no ethnic, sexual preference, racial component, even religious component to any of this. It is a philosophical disagreement, and it's a philosophy that when it infects you, you can pretend like it's connected to your race or your ethnicity or your religion, but it's actually a poisonous philosophy. And so in terms of people's sexual preference or religion or anything else, that is not part of what I'm saying has ever been an existential threat. It is the philosophy behind it that I'm against. So that's what I'm calling out. Marxism is the problem. It's been around for, almost a couple hundred years here. And, Karl Marx wrote his manifesto well into the American experiment with our Constitution was well known by him, and it was a direct attack on Western governance and philosophy, which comes from Judeo-Christian and Greek traditions, period. And that's what the West is founded on. Karl Marx is against it. And if people want to have a debate with me about that stuff, fine. I will debate. And like I said in a post, I will debate you, and we might end up disagreeing. And then I'll still sign your ODST copy because I'm not, this is why we have words. This is why we talk.
But Marty, your words are so dangerous. They're so dangerous, and you can hurt somebody with them. So just please be careful out there. That's all with your nasty.
There used to be a
weapon.
saying, "Words will never hurt me," and so this is what's also scary about this movement. Is suddenly like, silence is violence. I mean, stop redefining words. Silence is not violence. There might be things happening where I wish people weren't silent about it, but that's not the definition of violence. And so suddenly my presence with the actors that I hired to celebrate Halo's 25th anniversary at an anime convention, suddenly that is a threat of violence. It's like, that's insane. That's insanity.
Well, therein lies the trick. See, to you have what I view to be the correct position. You think, okay, well, sexuality, religion, etc., these are not political questions. Yes, they're separate. You can have all of these and have any opinions. They disagree. This is an ideology called intersectionality. It's founded by Kimberly Crenshaw, where they simply believe that all of this is intrinsic. There's nothing personal. Everything is political. And so to them, gay is a political position, which is something we need to stamp down on because it isn't. You can be gay and have a plurality of opinions.
Yeah, I just like I said, you can be Irish. It's like I happen to be Irish. But I disagree with the IRA when they go communist. So that doesn't mean I'm anti-Irish. So anyway, whatever. And even then, all I am is saying I disagree. Violence is the last possible thing anybody should ever do, and that's why we have governing bodies with standing armies and police forces. We give that power to the official governing people and not take up arms ourselves as individuals, or any sort of violence. Anyway, it seems like common sense. I just figured, if people want to disagree with me politically, that's fine. I actually have had tons of very calm, rational conversations with people, and we go away and we're still friends, or we go play games, or whatever. So
nobody died after those conversations, Marty. Just to be clear, there's no injuries.
Nobody even had a bloody lip. So
that's rough. Well, I'll tell you what. You may not be appearing at that event, but we are excited to welcome you to our event.
Yes.
And looking forward to this.
I don't know, Craig. I do feel a little nervous with him at this event.
So we have Sin City coming up very, very soon in about 6 weeks. If you guys would like to come out and meet Marty, hey,
45 days.
45 days away. Come join us. Here's a nice little 30-second clip for you. Now we got to add you, Marty. We got to add you to that because guess what? You're going to be hanging out with the guy immediately to your left as well there. So you and Arch will have an opportunity to have all these wonderful these wonderful conversations together in Las Vegas. So that'll be great.
Excellent.
All right, awesome. Well, Marty, listen, I think we all agree this is silly.
Silly.
We all agree that we got your back, and we all agree that we look forward to seeing you here in about 6 weeks.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And I don't have to go far, which makes it really nice for me. Thanks for that.
Perfect.
Hey, make sure. So here's the thing. Here's what I love, and this is what I discovered by being with, some of the folks who were here last week. The right tends to not have community organizers, right? We don't do the kinds of things that, frankly, the Marxists are good at. And this is why I think the DSA exists right now. And, of course, Democrat Socialists of America is abhorrent to me. And they've exposed themselves. They've said the silent part out loud. They oppose everything that's part of what we know makes, for a good country and a good constitution. And it's also really silly. Socialism, Marxism, communism, it's all in the same bag. And to put the word Democrat in front of it is one of the most silly things you could do. That's an adjective that doesn't work when you put it in front of something. It doesn't change what socialism is. You might as well say, Democrat murderers of America. Murder, it doesn't change the word murder, right? Just because it's a Democrat murderer. It doesn't, it's like, Republican murderer, who cares? The bad part is the murderer. The bad part in DSA is socialism, and we should be against it. And it seems like the normal people, Craig, what you guys stand for, the normies, they're waking up. They're not necessarily organized. However, in the same way, I believe that the game industry was one of the first power grabs by the sort of Marxist fringe people. And now, they influenced games, and then they influenced TV and films. That influence seems to be backing off a little bit, and the cancel culture is starting to retreat. They're holding on to the game industry pretty hard. And what you guys represent, and there's a huge community online of podcasters and influencers and streamers who are saying, hey, we've had enough. And so not only support the people like you who are, in a certain sense, organizing people, and the super chats and that you can make a living doing this is spectacular. But yeah, I want to see all these people. I want to see our community of normals, especially normal game people and normal movie likers and comic book readers who are fed up with the left co-opting the whole industry. I want to see them not necessarily be organized, but they can be organized. You've already organized them, and they will vote with their dollars. They'll vote with their views. They'll vote with their likes and their clicks. Now we have a couple of people who are actually going to go to Congress, me and Brandon Herrera, who's part of the Gun Tubers. And I've talked to Brandon a lot about this, and we think that it's like if we could organize enough so you guys can vote with your dollars. And to vote with your dollars means go to martyforcongress.com and click on the contribute thing. That is going to send a message to the left that is going to scare the crap out of them. Because all of a sudden, this sort of unorganized group of people who have similar cultural tastes and are fed up with the left, they're going to start truly voting with their dollars. So martyforcongress.com, I'm unabashedly promoting my site. Yeah. Go there and you can watch my commercial. You can sign up and you can contribute, and that will send a message to the left that there's normal people out there who have power, and we're not going to take it anymore. That's enough. Well, we've had it.
If I can compound on that, and Phoenix has been a champion of this for a while, and this is one thing that we've noticed as we've done events is that the biggest and most important thing that we can do right now is literally just put people in the same spot. And show people that you're not alone, right? Yeah. And to be clear, we outnumber all these psychos by a lot, right? But it just doesn't feel like that online. So so when we do an event like Sin City, we have to see support for those events
I agree.
because it allows us to scale and further show those to where SacAnime can't be like, well, we don't want Marty at our thing because it doesn't feel, well, screw off, we'll do our own thing, right? We've been talking about doing a convention for a while, but here's the thing that people don't want to talk about when it comes to this is that when we do an event like this, we have to make sure there is way more security because they are, when I say they, the people on that side are considerably more violent and considerably more unhinged and can make considerable more threats when it comes to safety. And safety is obviously paramount when it comes to these things. So we have to be very mindful, which jacks the cost of all these events up dramatically from our perspective. So, so we have to make sure that these things are supported. And when we put together a show, there's an opportunity to fill the house.
Well,
and,
I want everybody to stay tuned because one of the things, and Craig, you and I have talked about this. I think I've talked about it on your show, but it's going to happen. We don't know. It's probably going to happen in October, and that is, it's a Halo LAN party extravaganza that is in support of, essentially in support of my campaign for Congress, but it's also, to honor the 25th anniversary of Halo, and it's going to be an old-fashioned LAN party. But you know what? It was funny as we were talking about organizing this last week. The concept of security came up, and I was just like, "Oh man, I guess we have to think that way now because it's sad." But if you look at the vitriol of a Hassan Piker compared to the polite civil discourse of Charlie Kirk, and then you look at what happened to Charlie, and it's just amazing to me that you can be a Nazi, you can have a Nazi tattoo on your chest and still, be fine, until you just continue to go down that road. I grieve for where we are as a country, and the key is that the normals actually realize they're not alone. They are the majority. And it's one thing to be, polite and nice to people who disagree with you. And then it's another thing to, allow these violent philosophies into your tent. This is what I said the other day. The Democrats have said, we have a big tent. And the socialists come in and say, we want to destroy your tent. And the Democrats say, come on in. Like that's what's the word of suicidal empathy? I mean, this is what's going on in our country, and it's time for us to stop being polite to those who want to destroy us.
Well, I'll tell you what, you are the epitome of polite, whereas to your right, we have the God King Emperor Phoenix, who would like nothing more than just to rip the whole thing down and be as mean as you possibly can. And I love that.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Well, Marty, we appreciate you popping in with us. We look forward to seeing you in Vegas here in about 6 weeks, man.
Very excited for that, yeah.
Cool.
Yes. Please keep us updated. Everyone go to Marty for Congress and
links are in the description below. Yay!
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, Marty. Thanks for popping in.
Labs.
Thank you.
Nice to see you all.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
Marty.
See you later.
Bye, Marty. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
You too.